Shalom, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a long time since we have learned something together. We were learning Matan Torah by the Baal HaSulam, and I wanted to reintroduce. We have a lot of new subscribers here in the Baruch Shalom channel. We've made some wonderful growth and improvements in other English channels where we're sharing this wonderful wisdom. I'd like to learn with you spiritual principles. It's one of the books that have been translated by our dear friend Avraham Lowenthal. You can check out his website, KabbalahArt.com. Link will be in the description, among other links as well. That will be very helpful to you. This is a book that covers the basic spiritual principles of life itself, according to the Kabbalistic understanding, as brought through the school of thought of Baal HaSulam, Rebbe Ashlag, who was one of the foremost, some would say the foremost Kabbalist of at least the last century, who wrote the master commentaries on the Zohar, called the Sulam, the ladder, as well as Talmud Esrei, a magnum opus on the writings of the Ari. Want to keep the introduction short? I think we should jump in. You can download this PDF for free, either at KabbalahArt.com, or you can also inquire through the links in the description to just get the PDF sent to you via email as well. Before we begin the actual book, there is an introductory quote from Rebbe Avraham Morechai Gottlieb Shlita, who I've had the merit of being a student and follower of for over 3 years now. He says, "The main essence of redemption is internal and already exists within ourselves. It only needs to be revealed." It's a great merit to receive such ideas from spiritual masters like Rebbe Gottlieb, who are clarifying, as this book is in essence from him as he has summarized the school of thought from the rabbis of Ashlag. Rebbe Gottlieb was one of the star pupils of Rebbe Baruch Shalom HaLevi Ashlag of blessed memory, the first son and successor to the Baal HaSulam himself. He was with Rebbe Baruch Shalom for 14 years, day and night, and never left his side. He's been continuing and teaching, literally tens of thousands of classes over the past 30 plus years, over 40 publications, commentaries, books, all to reveal this wondrous wisdom that we need oh so much in this generation. And the reason we need this wisdom is because it is the essence of redemption. And as the Rebbe says here, the main essence of redemption is already internal. There's a deep idea that all of this wisdom at the depths of our unconscious and our collective consciousness, as Kabbalah describes, is one. And all of this is known in our heart of hearts. So hopefully your heart will continue to open up and experience the wonders of the infinite sea that is already right here, right now. In regards to this idea that redemption is already within us, within humanity. Humanity is Adam, man, Adam. And Baal HaSulam says that Adam is from the language of Adameh Elyon. I will be similar or liken myself to the Most High. This is from Yeshayahu Hanavi, Isaiah 14:14. Point being is that the language of Adam assumes a similarity of form, a similarity of character with its creator. We say the creator is perfectly loving and giving, which we'll get into in the first principle here in the book. And therefore, it is in our best interest to develop ourselves and refine ourselves away from our egoism of purely being self-serving to step into the service of the other. Anything outside of myself is considered the other, whether between myself and my neighbor, my friend, my family, or myself and the Creator. Adam means humanity and has the numerical value of Geula. Geula means redemption, meaning within all of us is already ingrained this aspect of redemption, and redemption is defined by the Baal HaSulam as the rising from egoistic consciousness to altruistic consciousness, to finally be free and redeemed from the prison of the ego, and that all that we do, in essence, is really just to serve ourselves, but to actually rise to the ultimate fulfillment and actualization of the self, to serve the other and be infinitely blessed and pleased with the lights of giving as opposed to just receiving. That's what we're here for, to do this work. So, this redemption is built within, and so much of our work day to day is just to remember that. Just to remember that on a psychological level, it's important to remember that we are already unconditionally valuable, purely good, and eternal. To integrate and connect to this ultimate truth of the soul is in itself a redemption, because those pillars of the true self, of what is defined by the soul, what the Baal HaSulam says in the introduction to the Zohar, Otei, section 5, where he paints the picture that we, at the deepest essence, are these supernal beings, as we are a piece of the Creator itself, and therefore infinite and magnanimous and wonderful. So to anchor into this, first and foremost, is important. To know our ultimate goodness and to integrate that and experience that grounding of our goodness. And of course, we're taking responsibility to reflect and see the gaps between where we are egoistically and where we'd like to be altruistically. Fine. Time and place, first and foremost, to ground and to anchor into our goodness in itself is an aspect of redemption. Because in the moments that we're not aware of that intrinsic value, goodness, and eternity can be described as exile. So we're here to remember, which leads us into principle 1. Before I jump into that, just give me a moment to pull up the live stream here on the YouTube in case we have any questions or comments or concerns. Awesome. Okay, I got the chat pulled up just in case anyone wants to chime in. We'll be checking that periodically. Principle number 1, the source of reality. The source of all reality is God-giving goodness. God gives goodness to everybody. This is the most wonderful framework and mindset for all of our lives. That everything that ever was, is, and will be is only from the Creator's hand. Nothing is outside of His jurisdiction. Ein od milvado. There is nothing other than Him. And all of the happenings of the past, of the present, and the future are all from the supernal desire to give goodness, to give of His light and love. That's it. That's all that it is. Though, of course, we experience otherwise. We experience suffering, chaos, murder, war, and the like. And this is a way to ground and sober ourselves in this idea that Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. There are these different names and expressions of the Creator pertaining to different energetic expressions. The name of Hashem has to do with His love and His compassion, His kindness. Shem Havaya, Yud Ke Vav Ke. And then Elokeinu is from Elokim, which is the judgment, the boundary, which is experienced as pain and suffering. But ultimately, it's Hashem Echad. Both the loving kindnesses and the judgments and boundaries and barriers and the like are all truly expressions of the one total compassionate goodness of the Creator. And sometimes that compassion, sometimes that love is garmented and expressed through pain and suffering, but ultimately leads us to our greatest fulfillment and actualization, as we've seen through history again and again, and even recent history, unfortunately. The Creator is Tova Meitiv. We say that He is the good that does good to the good and to the bad, and that the goodness that is expressed to all strata of people on all levels of consciousness, whether or not they are aware of it. And in the Creator's incomprehensible compassion and mercy, He also provides goodness, pleasure, and relative fulfillment even to those who may be deemed wicked and completely misaligned. And to the point prior of even the suffering is coming from His desire to give goodness, when we experience that suffering, it's still to bring us to that ultimate good. So too for those that may be deemed wicked and experience a constancy of suffering, even in their experience of pleasure, assuming it's fleeting into the infinite God hole of their desire to receive for oneself alone, as opposed to the maximal fulfillment of a connection directly with the Creator. All of that pain is in order to inspire us, humanity, to come to that internal redemption. The term for this in Hebrew is Ratzono lehativ lenivrayav, His desire to give goodness to His creation. This has the numerical value of 707, which is the same numerical value as HaShabbat, the Sabbath. Shabbos is supposed to be an oneg, it's a pleasure, meaning to say that the ultimate expression of His desire to give goodness to creation, of Ratzono lehativ lenivrayav, is fully expressed and manifest within the aspect and consciousness of Shabbos. And that ultimately He wants to give us the infinite light, literally, the Or Ein Sof. But we need to be fitting vessels to receive that. But without getting into too much detail for now, the point is that the desire to give goodness to His creation is fully expressed through the concept of Shabbos, in that we are to receive the pleasures and the goodness with a consciousness, ideally, and that it is His will that we experience that ultimate goodness. So too it is His will for us to transmute, transform, alchemize the pains and suffering and traumas of our lives, to also bring it into the light and bring it into the goodness and bring it into the tikkun, the correction, the healing that is necessary for us to step more and more into the expansion of our vessels to be able to experience eventually all the lights that He desires to provide to us, both the lights from our giving and service to the other, and the lights of direct experience and revelation of His goodness as well. Looking forward to continuing this series. This is just the first principle. The next principle will be speaking a bit about the goodness itself. Thank you so much. Wishing everyone a most wonderful time in this inner work, in this life. This is your first time joining. I invite you to check out the other series we have here on the YouTube in English of Matan Torah, a most wonderful introduction as well by the Baal HaSulam, translated by our good friend Aryeh Siegel. It is called Giving the Essential Teachings of the Kabbalah. If you'd like short form content as well, let's say videos, minute and a half long, sometimes a little bit longer as well, on different ideas regarding Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, and how it pertains to our psychology and self-development, you can also follow me on all platforms at Reb Adam Yitzchak. Instagram being a main source for that content. Additionally, if you'd like to see what's possible with potential coaching or mentorship, feel free to check out rebadam.com to see some wonderful free offers there as well. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and all the best.